Yes, please.
What's going on, everybody? Thank y'all for tuning in. It is the Thursday episode of the Crawford Chronicles. We had the whole squad back this time, so welcome back, Homer, Chris, and Sweet Pea Bones. I'm your host, PK. Fellas, how y'all doing?
Yeah, man, I'm doing great. I mean, obviously the Astros are playing better. The little league team's playing better, so that's definitely good. But it's been a very busy last couple of days, and that's pretty insane. Even because I was supposed to be on PTO today. So, but hey, tomorrow's Friday. You know, we got the weekend coming. So, I mean, outside of that, man, Browse, how's your week going?
Going fantastic, man. Yeah, the Astros have actually turned a couple things around. I mean, don't let's yeah, I'm going to save it for later on, but as far as the good news is concerned, I'll take it. Other than that, yeah, it's been a great week, man. Got to go to the game and hopefully broke the streak finally. And then other than that, yeah, Little League's been fun too. So we've had baseball all the way around all week. So PK, how's your week been, buddy?
It's been good. Been good. Been nice to watch the Astros, pull their head out of their ass, in this series, right? So, we're on 2 wins, a little 2-win mini streak. We're going for the sweep tonight. Currently up 2-0 in the I think bottom two. Yeah, bottom two. So Weiss is on the hill. Look, man, I'm here for it. Get this sweep. I talked about it last night. Selfishly, I want the Astros to lose today so that I can be tied with Chris for predictions. But as the Astros fan, I want them to get the sweep. So that's where I'm at.
Well, I mean, hey, and the way they played the last two games, I think it's more of like, the Astros that we kind of expected. Like I know that like we've had our week and some change of like, sadness, emo, like for the Astros. And my thing is that like I think as a fan, you can say that they've had a bad stretch and you can be upset about the bad stretch mainly because I mean these are teams that the Astros should have beat. They put up runs that where they should have won games and they didn't. Last night was a very hard, very like traditional baseball type of game. I mean, you had the Jordan home run last night, then you had two sack flies, and that was it. Irrigati pitched a hell of a game yesterday. His curveball was definitely on point. So here's to hopefully Weiss gets it done and they pull the sweep off tonight to get us back up to just 2 games under 500.
Yeah, and we broke out a celebration prop. Did y'all see that?
I did. I did see the new cowboy hat. I know that Schwab was on X earlier today trying to look for a new name for it. I don't know if that was if a new name has been coined or not though.
Yeah, I don't know if there's been a new name. I meant to talk about it last night, and it totally slipped my mind to do it. I am not a fan of the hat. I get the team. I get it. I was gonna say like disregard the cowboy hat because we're new to the celebration game, but I think we need to like up the prop, right? I mean, it's cool. The story is that Vasquez went to the pro shop and got it for last night. At least that's what they were talking about on the broadcast last night. So it's cool to have a prop. It's actually just kind of cool to see, some kind of like celebration in the dugout. I mean, when Bregman was doing his thing, I mean, he had the four and his hand out to the side, or he did the swagger or the stare in the camera. Springer, like the energy that he always brought, into the dugout. So it's cool to see these guys doing it again. I'm just on the side of kind of need a better prop.
Yeah, I mean, or at least maybe like a way too big cowboy hat. Maybe that would work.
Yeah, something like that.
But
What about
I
like
mean,
an
I kind of
astronaut
agree.
helmet?
Yeah, or an astronaut helmet. I think that would kind of work. But it kind of caught me off guard when I saw Jordan wear it, and I was just like, oh, Okay. So, I mean, but I agree. It's good to have them come back and bring the home run celebration prop into it. I mean, they're a little bit behind everybody else, but hopefully that game gets stepped up to where it's not just a regular base cowboy hat with the Astros logo on it. So,
Yeah.
oh, is you still with us? You with us?
Well, hey, at least they're having fun again. Yeah,
Yeah.
right here. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you're good.
anyway, at least they were having fun. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Did y'all get to watch any of the LMJ or game last night at all, or were you just watching highlights?
Last night or the night before? Because Eric Getty pitched last night.
That's what I meant, Eric Eddy. And the reason I
No,
said that
that's
is
what you
I kind of I did compare it last night to like an LMJ from back in the day, with just curveball to curveball to curveball to curveball, right? And then Eric Eddy was doing all that, and like they were so crisp and clean with all that movement. It was amazing to watch. Man, I was pretty pumped to see Eric Eddy go, the 6 innings and 10 Ks. I mean, it was badass to see.
Yeah, and you got a clean inning from Abreu. I mean, so that was nice. And I think it's safe to say that De Los Santo is now gonna be your temporary closer, maybe until Hader gets back. I mean, so it was good to see him go back to back nights with back to back saves. But yeah, I mean, like you hit the nail on the head when it comes to Eric Getty. I mean, we saw him, like he showed a lot of like ups and downs, a lot of growth last year. And then he gets hurt, which was pretty much the story of all of last year. And then it was kind of shocking coming out of spring for him to, not make the club out of spring. But then we saw him have a couple of good starts down in Sugarland. And then, like you were saying, who was going to come up, stop the bleeding. Ellen, like I said, we had the game before that we had won, but I felt like you really needed a start, whether that was going to be from Arrighetti. We come to find out Weiss was going to pitch tonight. You kind of needed that start to come in and just go, 6 innings, hand the ball over to the bullpen and just, I mean, really dominate. I mean, outside of, I think they got him for 1 run. I think it was in the 2nd inning. Uh, yeah, man, that curveball of his looked really good. I mean, it was just, and like I was just, telling Benjamin, I was like, man, I was like, now you're not going to throw a curveball. I was like, but man, his curveball is on tonight. I'm like, so, and he did a really good job of setting up the curveball too. Like he would throw his cutter, his fastball, and it would just basically set up the hook. And it's like Colorado knew it was coming, but there was nothing they could do with it.
Yeah, I mean, look, like you nailed it. I mean, they're looking for that pitch and you can't do it. It's like with Fromber with his curveball last year or in all the years, right? Like all these hitters know it's coming and they still can't do anything about it. So, last night you went through 3 bullpen arms, and I think the longest outing last night was an inning and a third, right? So,
which was Abreu,
which was Abreu, right? And so, and it was a low. I talked about it last night because it was kind of a low leverage situation because it was in the 7th, right? The last out of the 7th, and then the 8th. So it's kind of in a low leverage spot, but it still had some leverage intensity because you were only up 3-1, right? So you don't have him in the 9th trying to close the game out, late 7 and all 8th, and he's got to hold that lead, which he did, man. So I hope that outing last night just boosts his confidence. But at the same time, man, we talked about it, several times. Like he's just not cut out for that closer role. He's just not cut out for that. So leave him in the 8th inning, right, or 7th, 8th inning, and then look, closer by committee. De Los Santos has come in and he's done, two saves in back-to-back nights, and then you got a fairly fresh bullpen right now, given that you only had 3 guys go last night, and Abreu was the longest one at an inning and a third. So hopefully Weiss can take it to at least 5. I mean, I was pretty pumped to see a starting pitcher that we had go 6. I did post that last night. Like I was like, hell yeah! Like this is what it's like. You know what I mean? So I think right now he's at 2 innings pitched and he's at 36 pitches. So
it's not bad at all.
It's not bad. I mean, he's trending the right way. So how many outs they have? No outs right now, but they're in the top third, top 3, 37 pitches. He has 2 Ks right now. So as long as he's cannot have a 20 pitch inning, he should be able to go 5 and still, get to that bullpen.
Yeah, and going back to last night's game, I think who I've been really most impressed with, like the last week and a half or so, is the growth of Cam Smith. Now, um, it may not have looked like it on the broadcast. Obviously, I wasn't watching the game; I was at the game. I mean, but those balls that like every ball that he hit was hit hard. Now, unfortunately, the first two were, I mean, they were warning track, and they weren't like deep skied balls. Like, I mean, he put the bat on it, and then he had the sack fly, but then he had the double off the Crawford, off the big scoreboard, which knocked out the final off of I think it was Minnesota and whoever they were playing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like, man, like he has been just on it. And for him to do what he's doing is basically everything that you were hoping that Cam Smith would do in year 2 of Cam Smith, is him making the adjustments, and just putting that bat on the ball. And, you had two hits also last night from Nick Allen. And then of course you had the big man go deep, and that ball was completely smoked too. Like the second it left off, the second that ball came off his bat, I was like, it's gone. It's gone. And but yeah, I mean, like it's good to see the production coming out of your, because like I think you sat Altuve last night, so Nick Allen came in and played. I mean, so it's just nice to say, okay, and I'm not saying Nick Allen's going to hit 320 or anywhere close to 300. I mean, he was brought in for his defense, but it's good to have that off day where Altuve can sit, and then you get contributions from guys like Nick Allen. I mean, so yes, it was only 3-1. But there was a lot of things offensively, and of course, everything that Arrighetti did, the bullpen held it down. Outside of the second inning, pretty much from the second inning on, or the third inning on, you pitch shutout baseball. I mean, so, and that was even with the struggle in Abreu. I think the more he pitches, my thing with Abreu is, yes, I agree he should not be the closer, but like from what I've seen in the last handful of years, he's not one of those relievers that you can just sit maybe 3 or 4 games and not throw him. Like he's got to be like, you got to throw him like almost every other game for him to keep his mojo that he has going. So I think the more that you can throw him, you remove him from the closer role, and I just feel like Espada can be a lot more flexible with where they can put him in, because you still have Brian King, who's done a phenomenal job in the bullpen as well.
Yeah. No, I mean, you have to keep running them out there. I totally agree. Just run them out there in non-closing situations. But to go back to Cam Smith, when we were watching the game last night, I was probably in the middle of posting something, and when he hits that ball off the wall, the call from Blummer was he hit the F out of the wall. That's what he said. Cam Smith hits the F out of the wall, right? And so
I mean, technically he did.
Right. But I look up and I'm like, did he just say that on TV? Right. Like, and of course I did the slow-mo, the replay, and it shows like he literally hit the F, the final, out of the wall. And I was like, okay, well, that makes sense. I didn't think Blum was gonna, just, go rogue on TV. But dude, he's hidden to all fields. Last year, if y'all remember in spring training, a lot of his power was going to the opposite field. And a lot of his pop all of last season was going to the right side, right? And I talked about it last spring that his swing last season reminded me of Correa, right? Just bat on the ball at the long, the 2-hand follow through, everything. This year's Cam is spraying the ball around the park. I think he's obviously had a whole year of MLB experience, right? He's had the offseason to work on his craft. And now he knows that he can get in on these inside pitches and turn on them with power. So he's looking to pull the ball more, but at the same time, he still has fantastic bat control to where he can go oppo. I mean, we see it. We see oppo ground balls, rockets out to right and then back up the middle. And then, of course, now he's pulling it, man. So he's just going to keep getting better. And then, he's holding down right field like we saw him do all last season. The Nick Allen thing, I was really pleasantly surprised with last night, because he had some pretty good, defensive plays. I mean, nothing like net plays, right? But he had some good plays. And Chris, to your point, when you can get your utility guy to come in to give any of these veterans a day off. And then last night it was Altuve, first time this season. Excuse me. And then to come through with 2 hits. I mean, that's just icing on the cake. Now you couldn't plate them, right? You would have wanted more insurance runs, but really at the end of the day, like, you get the win, you save the bullpen, and now you're sitting here going for the sweep at minimum series win. You've got St. Louis coming in over the weekend, right? Like, I mean, it's you could this week, if they play the game that they're supposed to play, they play the way that we've seen them play, they can make up this week for the BS that was going on last week.
No, I agree. And we're going to bring in a special correspondent all the way from League City, Texas. It's Bryles again. All right. Hey, welcome back.
Got that HughesNet.
Yeah, sorry about that. No, it's that was a camera issue more than anything else. So sorry about that.
Yeah, I mean, so and I agree. I think bring the series against St. Louis again is a very winnable series. I mean, we've seen them in the offseason deal away Nolan Arenado. We've seen them deal away Brendan Donovan, Sonny Gray. They dealt away. I mean, Contreras as well. I mean, so this is a team that's starting the rebuild, or at least they're starting to get younger. I mean, so this is a series that you capitalize on your 2 wins last night. Maybe you sweep Colorado tonight, and then what is it, a 3-game series? Or I think it's pretty sure it's a 3-game series.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
You could take it very easily. You could take 2 out of 3 from St. Louis, and now you're looking at a 5-1 homestand. And it, like I said, you walk away a couple of games above 500, if my math serves me right, or you're maybe right at 500. And, all the people that gave us crap online saying that we're jumping the gun too early will say, hey, here's your flowers. You were right. It was just an early 8-game skid.
Well, I mean, if you look at this series coming up, after the Rockies series on our schedule, I mean, at the beginning of the year, we would have thought this would have been, 6-0. That should have been pretty easy because St. Louis everybody thought they were going to be at the bottom of the, NL Central. So far, they're 3 games over 500, I believe, last time I looked at the standings. So they are nothing to sneeze at right now. They're playing good baseball. They've got a bunch of young kids that are out there trying to prove something. So I don't think they're going to roll over quite like the Rocky. Well, I mean, I can't even say the Rockies rolled over the last 2 games because we had to fight hard for that first win. And then last night it got a little bit easier. And I'm sure you guys already talked about it, but the bullpen got really taxed on Monday, on Tuesday. And then yesterday, they finally didn't have to throw more than 44 pitches. Thank God. So, and then I know we've already discussed De Los Santos. But I'm telling you, the St. Louis, little set coming up here, they're not just going to roll over and die. These guys have come out to play. They've got some young kids in their AAA system that are pushing the other young kids that are on their team right now. So they're about to shake it out and see who's going to be the good players coming up for the next few years. So anyway, my point being is that don't think that we're going to roll into this weekend and steamroll the Cardinals just because they were expected to be at the bottom of the NL Central.
Yeah, they got a dude. His last name's Walker. He's an outfielder. I think he's a left fielder.
Oh, Jordan Walker.
Mashes. Like, he mashes. You got Mason Wynn. Newt Barr's still there. Gorman. And the only reason I know that is because I've been watching way too much baseball here lately, which is not a bad thing. But when you watch MLB Big Inning, it's the most fantastic show aside from NFL Red Zone that's out there for you baseball, enthusiasts. So, yeah, no, I don't think it's a cakewalk at all with St. Louis coming into town this weekend. But it's still a series that you should win, and that's not even a homer pick. That's just you're better than them. Can your pitching hold up in that homestand before you go on the road to Cleveland for 3? And look, the next homestand, dude, is the Yankees in town next weekend. A week from tomorrow, the Yankees are in town, and the Angels. Dude, they put a beating. I don't know if y'all seen the Mike Trout highlights in the last 4 days of him turning back the clock. I mean, dude, he is mashing the baseball. So that's a whole nother episode. I don't want to get too far ahead, but look, we do have the Cardinals coming in. It's still 2-0. Houston, so we're going for the sweep tonight. Do we have? I don't think last night on the recap there was not any probables for this weekend. I don't know if they've updated it. I don't know.
Well, with as big of a limbo the rotation's been in, and who they've had to call up from AAA and who they've had to put on the IL, I mean, it would not shock me if we're rolling into this weekend with TBD, our favorite pitcher, going Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So you've got LMJ tomorrow against Andre Payante, and then Saturday you've got Burrows against Liberatore, and then tomorrow is TBD, Saturday is LMJ, Sunday is Burrows.
Okay, I'm trying to think who would that.
Kyle Leahy is pitching for St. Louis.
I'm trying to think who would be taking the mound tomorrow. I mean, Colton Gordon pitched 2 days ago. Eric Eddy pitched last night. You got Weiss pitching tonight. Yeah, I really don't know who TBD is unless they make a move and they send Gordon back down. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. Is if
maybe Uola.
Maybe no, I don't think it'll be Uola. I'm thinking it would be something like they send Colton Gordon down and they call up Jason Alexander, and Alexander pitches tomorrow. That's what I was thinking. So, I mean, if Alexander can, replicate what, everything he did for us last year, I mean,
look, he just needs to replicate it for one game right now.
Right now,
for one game.
Right now, I think we're still at a game at a time.
And I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but didn't Jason Alexander have a little bit of a rough spring training, if I remember correctly?
Spring training. I think we've learned well enough that a wise man once said, "You can't judge a season by your spring training stats."
Well, I mean, right? Because like
that might have even been me,
right? Because Imai
it could have been
dominated during the spring, and we've seen what's happened with Imai. Burrows dominated.
Same thing with Burrows, yeah.
Right. So,
I mean, Hunter Brown was healthy in the spring. I mean, so you can see how much has changed.
You know what? Dana Brown didn't want him to throw 97, 98 miles an hour in training either. So.
Yeah, that's
like, I read those comments, and then I listened to Brown's response, and I'm like, Dana, this is not what you do to your ace pitcher that, like, you don't have an extension with. Like,
yeah,
that's not what you do. You don't really call him out. Like, you're gonna tell this dude not to compete. I mean, he knows.
Yeah,
like, come on, man.
It's like the second I read that and I read Hunter Brown's reply, I'm like, oh my God, he's not re-signing.
Yeah, there's no way.
I felt the same way, man.
There's no way he's re-signing. You idiot. So, yeah, the Imai thing, we haven't really talked about Imai. I mean, he's having a hard time adjusting to America and stuff like that.
We're all having a hard time adjusting to America.
Yeah, I will say amen.
Amen to that, right? He's pitched 8 2/3 and has arm fatigue. So there's that. So yeah.
Chris was telling me last night that he's on his
he's like on his third interpreter.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I was like, what? Which makes sense, because one of the things that he said, like, after, they sent him back to Houston, he's like, I just have not been able to adjust to American culture. And, I'm used to going back to the hotel and having dinner. We eat at the stadium. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not going to put you on the IL, bro, just because you've got to eat at the stadium as opposed to like getting a room service. That's not going to kill you. So,
well, hell, if he's having to pay stadium prices for food, that would sure as hell put me on the IL. At least my wallet on the IL.
Getting some $45 Whataburger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Hader. What's the news on Hader? Anything new? I think he's going.
Oh no, he threw live BP. He threw against Matthews and he threw against Trammell, and they said he looked pretty good, but he topped out at like 92, 93. So he's still got a little bit of ramping up to do, but that was the last I heard. And that was yesterday, by the way, before the game. I wonder if he
struck out Matthews.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure Matthews probably struck out.
I feel bad for that dude. I was talking about last night. Like, it's a local kid. Like you want him to
Yeah.
succeed, but he just looks overmatched, man. It sucks, and his helmet doesn't fit. So
Yeah, and neither
Like-
does his hat. His hat doesn't fit either.
yeah,
It's like I think he had more times his helmet and hat flew off last night than he's had hits total this season.
yeah, it's not
Like
good.
even Benjamin was like, "Dad, how come Matthews' hat doesn't stay on?" I was like, "Dude, I don't know." It's like I have no idea.
Because he borrowed it from Carlos Gomez. That's why.
I mean, could be. All right, but we got like 5 minutes left. Let's go ahead and get into our picks because now that I've actually had time to somewhat update it. So, our 2026 season current Crawford Chronicles special edition here. I am still holding down
Oof.
first place, and these two bums don't have still have zeros in the win column. So, hopefully that will stay the same tonight with an Astros sweep, and if not, then all three of us will be terribly at 1-3. So we got the Cardinals coming in town. We kind of broke down the Cardinals a little bit. Young squad playing a little bit above their pay grade to start off the season. Browse, we'll start with you. What are your predictions?
I'm going to go 2-1, and the reason I'm going 2-1 is because I know Burrows has been struggling, and I think Liberatore, who's going to be pitching against him, who's the technical ace of their squad, has looked pretty good this season. The only reason I can tell you that with efficiency is the fact that I've got him on my fantasy baseball team. So I actually know his stats, and that's the game I think we're possibly going to lose. I think we do have really good potential to win Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday's going to be a toss-up, but, we can't win them all. I'd love to, and I'd love to say 3-0, but I think we're going to lose Sunday.
All right. Yeah. 2-1 from Browse. PK, what you got?
Yeah, I'm also going 2-1. I think being at home is what this team needed coming off of that disaster West Coast swing. So obviously they're getting the series win. They got the series win yesterday, and hopefully they get the sweep tonight. It's just so damn hard to pick a sweep. It really is, right? So I'll take 2-1 good guys for the St. Louis series.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go 2-1 as well. I think that as much as we've kind of seen the turnaround since they've come back to home to Houston, I again, it's hard, to predict a sweep. I just think that, St. Louis, while they're probably playing a little bit above, like I said, above their pay grade right now, I mean, they're still a pretty decent team. Again, with the TBD tomorrow, I mean, who knows? It could be Jason Alexander. I mean, hell, they could go for a bullpen game, which to me would make no sense. Not when you have two more games, but with the not knowing who the pitcher is tomorrow, I think I'm going to go a little bit higher. I think Burrows is going to have a bounce back start when he pitches. I think he's going to go 6 innings. Maybe 1 walk. I think he's going to get that changeup working. I think he's going to have 9 strikeouts. So I'm going 2-1 with the Burrows bounce back start.
Yeah, all right. All right. Well, look, Lance's record is he's 1-0 with a 5.87. His last outing in Colorado should have been better than it was. I mean, he was he was doing pretty damn good until that fourth. I think it was the 4th inning, and they started putting some hits together, and then then it all fell apart, right? So, no, I expect Lance to continue to be, not like the first start guy, but that 5 innings of good pitching. So I expect him to go. Burrows needs a game of dominance, like dominance by his standard. Like he needs that for himself, right?
A get right game.
And this would be the most opportune time to do it, because if he pitches on Sunday, then he'll probably pitch Friday or Saturday, and that's going to be home for New York. So this would be a good get right game before that next start. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel you. So, let's mix it up. We got like 30 seconds, but you know what? We do what we want here on this show. Offensive MVP for this series. Go Browse.
I mean, it's hard not to say Jordan, but
okay,
I'm going to go Cam Smith.
Name Jordan. Okay,
I'm going to go Cam Smith.
Like
He's been hot, even though he had the blunder last night, and trying to take the ball from the center fielder. But other than that,
God, dude,
that has nothing to do with offense.
terrible.
So I'm taking Cam Smith.
All right, PK.
Well, I mean, it kind of makes it difficult, right? When you take the big guy out, right? Because I was gonna.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's too easy. That's too easy.
It is. I'll go with Walker needs a good series. Walker needs a good, consistent series. And so I'll take Walker. Walker will have a breakout series.
All right. I'm going to go with the man who I've always backed. It broke my heart when he was traded. And I'm going to go with not Dubon. I'm going to go with Mr. Joey Lopes. I think he's going to have a bust-out series for the Astros against the Cardinals.
Okay. Those could be the tiebreakers. How about that? If we all hit 2-1, that could be the tiebreaker.
I like it.
Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, man. Guys, I'm glad to have you back in the studio. We'll be live tomorrow night after the St. Louis series opener. But until then, man, I hope you have a great rest of your evening. We'll talk to you tomorrow night. This is the Crawford Chronicles. I'm your host, PK. Homer Chris, Sweet B Bones Bryles. Go Astros. Let's get that sweep.
Let's go and hook them.